Warm good afternoon, students. This is Mohan from Mechanical Department of Erode Technology Engineering College. Okay, today we are going to discuss about how a cylinder sequence on basic pneumatic kit is being done. Okay, so here I'm going to use a software called Atom Gen 8. Okay, so this is an automation and simulation software. So you can see both. You can design the circuit and also you can simulate the circuit. You can see how it is working also. Okay, so without wasting time, we will just move on to the presentation now. So we have this is how the AtomGen software works. I'm using AtomGen software V point V8.9 version. Okay, so here I have to select AtomSim. I have to make a right click on it, and I have to give add a new AtomSim page. Okay, and once I add a new AtomSim page, this is how it looks. Okay, so this is the page where I'm going to do my drawing, where I'm going to do my design. Okay, so first of all, before starting your connections and before starting your experiment, what you have to do, you have to give this option. You have to enable this option, show broken lines. Okay, this enables whether every connection is being uh, done correctly or not. Okay, so you can see, I'll just show you an example. So this is your hydraulic power pack, so which is connected to okay, for example, I'm using this direction controller. Okay, so see, when I'm doing the link, if the link is completely connected, the red mark goes up. You can see the red mark over here. This mark goes up. See, for example, one second I'll do. So you can see from here now. So here you can see a red color circle over here. So once the connection is complete, the circle goes up. Okay. So this enables you that you have done the correction. I mean, you have done the connection in a right manner. Okay. So that is why we have given that we have enabled the show broken lines option. Okay. So here, what we are going to do is I'm going to um, handle a class on how basic pneumatic kit is being working. Okay. So for example, the sequence is A plus B plus A minus and B minus. Okay. Note down the sequence. It is basic pneumatic kit with a sequence A plus B plus A minus and B minus. Okay. So first of all, what we are going to choose is we have to. I'm doing a basic pneumatic kit. Okay. So you can see there are three options available over here. Okay. This is pneumatic actuator, and we have pneumatic direction control valves, and we also have a pneumatic just a pneumatic kit. Okay. This is all we are having. Okay. Can you understand? So now, for selecting this, actually, when you open this particular window, you can see only this options available over here. Okay, so you can find palette option over here. You can see the palette on your left hand side bottom. So here, once you enable this option, you can see you can make available of all these things. Okay, we have electrical connections, we have hydraulic actuators and pneumatic systems also. We have three different sections. We have electrical section, then hydraulic section, and finally we have pneumatic section also. Okay. So first thing is here I'm going to do a pneumatic connection, a basic pneumatic connection with a sequence of A plus B plus A minus and B minus. Okay. So let us start off the experiment. So first thing what I require is a a compressor. Okay, so air has to be compressed in order to make use of it. Okay, so here the medium what I'm using is air as a medium, so this becomes my compressor. Okay, so then we have two double acting cylinders. Then what I have to do is I have to take two double acting cylinders for in order to pick uh, double acting cylinders from this palette. What you have to do, you have to move the cursor towards tool you needed, then make a click on it. Okay, you can see some four dots available over here. Okay, so this enables that your you have selected that particular tool. Okay, so here I'm going to use a double acting cylinder. Okay, here I'm using a double acting cylinder. You can see two ports available over here. So that is why it is called as a double acting cylinder. Okay, so this cylinder becomes your A. This is cylinder A, and again I have to take another cylinder. Uh, this is cylinder B. So this becomes your A cylinder, and this becomes your B cylinder. We have two different cylinders, and for this cylinder, for the movement of this cylinder, we need a direction control valve. Okay, the direction has to be controlled. In which direction the flow of air has to be. That has to be decided with the help of a direction control valve. And here I am using a 5 by 2 direction control valve. So this is a 5 by 2 direction control. Why 5 by 2? We have 5 number of ports over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We have 5 ports and we have 2 ways. Okay. Here there are 2 ways. Here you can see a separation done here. Okay. So this represents the fluid, the air is taken from this arrow mark and it is getting supplied to your pneumatic cylinder. Okay. So I'll let you know when it is in working condition. Okay, how does it take envelope 1 or 2? We can see two different envelopes over here. In this envelope, the marking has been done. So this enables that this provides the what to say provisions for connection. Okay, this provides provisions for connection, whereas this moves accordingly. Okay, this is envelope number 1 and this is envelope number 2. Okay, so if you are using envelope number 1, the cylinder will be moving to the the piston will be moving towards its rod end, whereas if it is using this envelope, the cylinder will be returning back to the blank end. So remember, this is your blank end. Okay, this is your blank end, and since the rod is projecting out, this area is becomes your rod end. Okay, this is blank end and this is rod end. Okay, so here also I'm going to use, I have two different cylinders, and two different cylinders cannot be controlled with the help of one direction control valve. Okay, and that is why I'm going to use another cylinder, another direction control valve, and again here also I'm making use of a 5 by 2 direction control valve. Okay, so I'm having two cylinder which is controlled by two different 5 by 2 direction control valve. Okay, when you are selecting, whether if you don't know whether this is the right thing I have selected, for example, instead of selecting 5 by 2 direction valve, if you have selected 3 by 2, so if you don't know whether I have selected the right thing or not, what you have to do is you have to make a right click on your mouse and see the properties. Okay, if you open the properties, here you can see whether you have selected the right direction control valve or not. Okay, here it has been represented 5 by 2. Suppose if you have selected 4 by 2 instead of 5 by 2, you can see over here which direction control valve you have been selected. Okay, this can be changed here also. So here I'm going to use 5 by 2 direction control valve for controlling the movement of the cylinder. Okay, so this thing has to be taken out. So this is the order in order to in which you have to place your cylinder and direction control valve. Okay, so that you can clearly understand from where the air is getting passed and from where the direction control valve is pushing the air towards this end or this end. The rod end or the blank end or rod end. Okay, so you can see the connection, and you have selected all the pneumatic kit that is available over here. Okay, pneumatic kit available over here, and one thing you have missed out. What is that? Is we have a what is this? We have a FRL unit. Okay, in order to uh, make the connection simple, I am going to rotate it. For rotation, what you have to do is again you have to make a right click on your mouse and choose properties. Choose rotation option, and you can see in which degree you can rotate. Okay, so I'm using a 90-degree rotation. So again, for dragging this into towards your compressor, you can just pull it from here to here. Okay, so you can see once the connection is complete, you can see here. So once the connection is complete, this two red circle disappear. See. Okay, you can see only the green circle available. Okay, so this enables your complete connection has been made. This enables that your connection is completely proper and you have made a proper connection. Okay, so now I have completed all my pneumatic. I have taken all my pneumatic things that are required to complete my uh, circuit. Okay, so these all are from pneumatic systems only. I have used pneumatic actuator I have used pneumatic direction control valve, and I have used pneumatic system. Okay, for power source also I have used pneumatic system. Okay, so why I'm stressing in this particular area is, if suppose you are selecting pneumatic actuator and if you are selecting hydraulic direction control valve, you cannot make a connection. So see, for example, so just I'm replacing this pneumatic direction control valve with hydraulic direction control valve. So see, selected it, and I'm using a hydraulic direction control valve, and again the same cycle to direction control. Okay, so this is your air medium, and this is your hydraulic medium. Okay, here I'm using air as a medium, and here I'm using a fluid as, liquid as a medium. So what happened? This connection cannot be done. You can see that here. Okay, can you see? Can you see the cursor changing? See, from the pen option, it has changed to a cross option. Okay, so it is not possible to connect a pneumatic system with the hydraulic system. So care should be taken when you are selecting the pneumatic system. For pneumatic system, you have to select everything from the pneumatic palettes. You have 3 different pneumatic palettes. Only from this you have to choose. Okay, so now all pneumatic system has been taken out and kept over here. Okay, for this control, for controlling this, what you are going to do is, you have to choose the electrical switches. Okay, you have to make use of this electrical switches, because a pneumatic system is completely controlled by an electrical system. Okay, that is, care should be taken when you are doing this particular experiment. Okay, you have to choose electrical system also. Okay, so let us move on to the electrical system now. The first thing is, I have to choose electric, in which I have to take a 24-volt power supply. So this is the voltage power supply, and next I'm going to choose electrical contacts, in which, from which I have to choose this particular switch. Okay, this particular switch represents normally open switch. Okay, this is called as normally open switch. When the connection is passing through, what happens? The connection is getting closed. Okay, this open thing will be closed. You can see a small opening over here. When the current is passed, the switch gets closed. Okay, unless the current is passed, it will be remaining in its open condition. Then again, we have an electrical output we have. So since we are using a pneumatic system, you have to use this particular output. You can see. So this is a hydraulic. So a dark representation is made for uh, making you understand that it is a hydraulic system. Okay. So next is, this is the input, and for the particular input, I am selecting a output over here. And again, in electric, I have to close the circuit. So I'm using a ground option. Can you see? A 24-volt power supply, a switch. As I switch on the switch, what happens? An output will occur. Okay, and after that, it has been grounded. Okay, so since we are using electrical connections over here, and since the entire system is controlled by electrical switches, what happens is, this direction control valve has to be supported with electrical section. Okay, this hydraulic, pneumatic DCV is your direction control valve, should be supported with an electrical system, and that is why I'm going to use a solenoid over here. This is your solenoid. This is the symbol for a solenoid system. Can you see? A small rectangle with a cross. Okay, so again, here also I'm going to use a solenoid. So you can see the difference now. See the difference between these two images. These two icons. Here I have added solenoid on either side, whereas here I have not added anything. Okay, so same thing has to be repeated here. Again, for this I'm using the solenoid. Okay, can you understand? Yes. So for coming back to the electrical section, what is the question? What is the question we have here? We have to make 2 cylinders to move. Okay, so we have 4 different switches over here. So in the cylinder, you can see this is a sensor. Okay, these two are the sensors. When this piston reaches the sensor, the switch will be in on condition. When it moves, the switch becomes off. Okay, so here we have 2 switches over here, A, and here it is for B. Okay, we have to name the switches. So in order to name the switches, what I'm going to do is, I'm keeping the blank end as A minus. Okay, and broadened as A plus. In this particular cylinder, I am maintaining this area as A minus and this area as A plus. Okay, and for the B cylinder, the same thing. This is B minus and this is B plus. Okay, this is B minus and this is B plus. Okay, and also in the case of solenoid, since it is controlling the motion of cylinder number A, this becomes what to say? This becomes A direction control valve. This becomes A direction control valve, and this becomes B direction control valve. And we have to provide the name for these two solenoids over here. And this becomes your minimum solenoid. Okay, this becomes A minimum, and this becomes A maximum. Okay, this becomes A minimum, and this becomes A maximum. Whereas here, this solenoid becomes B minimum, and this becomes B maximum. Left hand side should be always minimum. See, for example, here it is minus. So minus is represented as minimum, right? So here, in the case of solenoid, you have to uh, uh, write it as minimum maximum. Okay. In the case of cylinder, you have to represent it as minus and plus. Okay. A minus, A plus, A minimum, A minimum, A maximum. Here, B minus, B plus, B minimum, and B maximum. Okay. Can you understand? So the number of switches is 4. So we have to repeat these connections 3 times. Okay. Since we have 4 switches, we have to make this switch connection repeated. Okay. So we have to make 3 repeated connections here. So again, I'm going to electric, using a 24-volt power supply, and in electric contacts, I'm going to choose, once again, I'm going to choose the open connection, and in electrical outputs, I'm going to choose pneumatic electrical output, and finally, in electric, I'm going to choose a ground option. Okay. So again, I have to do it twice. Okay. Then I'm going to do it again. So next is your electrical contact. Next comes your electrical output, which is of pneumatic type. So you can just drag it from there. Okay. Once you see the 4 dot option, it shows that this particular thing is being selected. So once you see this 4 dots, you can just drag it over here and place it wherever necessary. Okay. So next thing is, again, I'm going to electric. I'm going to pick ground option. Okay. So electrical connection is over. Okay. Then what I have to do is, I have to take this air supply. I mean the medium supply to the direction control valve first, and from the direction control valve, it is connected to the cylinder. Okay. So what is FRL unit? We have seen already. What is FRL unit? FRL is nothing but your filter, regulator, and lubricator. Okay. It is combined. Okay. The 3 things are combined in a single unit. We will call it as FRL unit. F for filtering. Okay. Air contains some impurities, right? We are extracting air from atmosphere. Okay. Atmosphere is contains what? It contains moisture in it. It contains dust particles, and everything has to be removed in this particular area. Okay. So filter is responsible for dust removal from the air, and we have R represents regulator. Regulator in the sense, we have uh, at what pressure the air should enter into the system. Okay, that has to be maintained. Okay, so we have a regulator in order to maintain the pressure, in order to maintain the working pressure. Since we are using a pneumatic system, the maximum pressure that cylinder can withstand. I mean, in a laboratory purpose, I'm saying, just in under a roof, I'm saying, this particular thing is capable of maintaining only 10 bar pressure. Okay, over 10 bar pressure, if you are giving it to the pneumatic system, what happens? It becomes failure. Okay, the system becomes failure. There is a possibility for leakage also. Okay, so in order to eliminate that problem, what you have to do, you have to maintain the pressure below 10 bar. Okay, so next we have from L. L is a lubricator. So lubricator, what does lubricator means is, so since we are using a moving piston over here, there is a possibility, because there is no lubrication is available here. Okay, pneumatic system completely works with the help of air only. Okay, so due to the movement, what happens? We have the flow. You can see some the piston is connected to the walls of the cylinder. Okay, so due to rapid movement, what happens? This cylinder walls will get heated up. Okay, so if it gets heated up, what happens? The piston walls will be damaged. Okay, the piston head will be get damaged. Okay, so in order to overcome that difficulty, what they are doing is they are providing a small amount of oil. Okay, so the air entering into the system carries some amount of lubrication in it. Lubrication in the sense some amount of oil is being sprayed into the system. Before entering the system, some amount of oil is being sprayed into the system. Okay, in order to maintain the what to say, in order to lubricate the moving part. Okay, so from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect it to a 5/2 direction control valve. So see where I'm going to connect. See the position in which one receives the air and which one is providing it to the cylinder. So this thing, this arrow mark represents it is receiving air from the uh, compressor and it is providing to the cylinder. Okay, so can you understand this line? So this arrow mark represents this is what to say. This is providing the provision for intake of air, whereas and once the air is getting intaken, what is it is sending the air to the cylinder. Okay, so it is sending the air to the cylinder. So you can see from here from B to A it is going from the pump line. I mean from the pressure line is going to A cylinder. Okay, so you can see here A minus. Okay, since air is getting filled here, what happens? The piston starts moving towards the rod end of the cylinder. From the blank end of the cylinder, the piston starts moving to the rod end of the cylinder. So what happens here also? If the piston is in blank end, what happens? If air has been filled in the rod end. Okay. So when the air is entering this area, what happens? Here high pressure air is being entered. Okay. Whereas here low pressure air will be present. Okay. Since the movement of the piston is towards the rod end, what happens? The air in the rod end of the cylinder comes out of the cylinder and it is sent to the direction control valve. Okay, can you understand? The same thing has to be repeated in V cylinder also. So here the air is being received from the compressor and here it is sent to the uh, cylinder B inlet port. I mean A minus, it is being sent to A minus, and from here it is taken back, and you can see only two portion is being opened in each direction control valve. And since we are using air as a medium and air is present in abundance, what we are going to do is you have to drain this air. Okay, you have to drain this air outside. Okay, so in order to drain, there is a possibility for much noise to be generated. Okay, so in order to reduce the noise, we are placing a silencer over here. Okay, what does the silencer does? It it suppresses the sound of the air coming out of the direction control valve. Okay, that's it. The connection has been complete. So what the next thing you have to do is you have to provide the names for each and every component that you have taken and placed it over here. Okay, the first thing is your air compressor. So I'm maintaining a pressure at the pressure should be always in bar. Okay, so you can maintain a pressure of 7 bar, and in direction control also you have to maintain it at 7 bar. And then we have cylinder over here. So the cylinder, when you double click the cylinder, you will get this window. So in which here you can see sensor minimum symbol and sensor maximum symbol. And here what you have to do is you have to mention sensor minimum symbol is A minus and sensor maximum symbol is A plus. Okay. Whereas in the case of B cylinder, the same thing has to be repeated. The sensor minimum symbol will be V minus and sensor maximum symbol will be V plus. Okay, so that name will not be indicated over here. Okay, that is not necessary. You can just open it and see whether you have given it correctly or not. Okay, then in the case of direction control also, so here we have #1 and #2. In #1, what you have to do is you have to give a minimum. So left hand side should be always the minimum position and right hand side should be maximum position. Okay, in the case of direction control one. In cylinder, you will be representing it with A minus and A plus. Whereas in direction control, it has to be represented with A plus, A minimum and A max. The same thing has to be repeated in B also. So what comes here? B minimum and B maximum. Okay, so B minimum and B maximum. So I have I have given names to all the pneumatic tools that are available in this particular page. Okay, whereas here you can give the names to your switches also. So let us consider the sequence. Okay, I will just show you the sequence now. Just a minute. So just present the screen so you can see. So I think you can see a blackboard over here, right? Can you see the blackboard? Hope you can see a blackboard over here. Okay, so here you can split the page into two. Okay, we have on the left hand side you can see the limit switches. Okay, L S is for limit switches. Here we have solenoid. Okay, so limit switches and solenoid. So limit switches is the one we have represented in the electrical system. Okay, so as the I'm writing as per the sequence. The sequence is A plus, B plus, A minus, and B. Okay, so I'm writing this sequence in a vertical position. So first thing is your A plus, second is your B plus, third is your A minus. The next one is, so this is the positions of your switches, electrical switches. So this, when you are switching on this switch, it has to provide a corresponding output. When you are switching on A plus, what happens? The next sequence is A, B plus. So what solenoid has to be activated is B maximum. B maximum has to be activated. Okay. The next thing is after B plus we have A minus, and A minus means in the solenoid position it has to be represented as A minimum. Okay, and after A minimum we have B minus. After A minus, once it reaches A minus, we have B minus. So after A minimum, it becomes B minimum. And finally, we have this sequence has should not stop. Okay, it has to be continued again and again. So what happens after B minus? We have A plus again. So the solenoid position will be A maximum. Okay, so this is how the name has to be provided. Okay, so just close this and come back to the presentation. So now you can see. Okay, so for this cylinder, as I said, I'm going to write it in a vertical manner. The first thing is A plus, next is which becomes B plus as per the sequence I'm writing. Okay, so A plus B plus, A minus B minus is my sequence. A plus B plus, then we have A minus, finally we have B minus. Okay, can you say what corresponding output that will be getting here? After A plus, what happened? B plus has to come. So my solenoid switches solenoid position will be B maximum. Solenoid position will be B maximum. After B plus, it is A minimum. So A minimum. In simple portion, I have to type the. I have to give the name. Okay. After A minus, what I have? B minus I have. So in symbols, I have to give B minimum. Finally, I have B minus to A plus again. So my solenoid position will be A maximum. solenoid position will be A maximum. Okay, now I have given names to every connection that I have made here. Okay, can you see the presentation, right? Yes. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I have to check whether my connections and what names I have given is right or not. Okay. For that, what I have to do is here you have a go option. Okay. A go button is here. So once you click the go button, you can see the program is being executed over here. Okay. So now the program is being executed, and here I have an option for simulating this particular thing. Okay, till now we have just designed what is a pneumatic system alone. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I have to simulate the design that I have made here. Okay, so for simulation, what I'm going to do is I have to click this dynamic display option so that you can see the cylinder is moving. So now we can see as per the sequence. See, A plus is going, then A minus, B. So first is A plus, then B plus, A minus, and B minus. Okay, clear? Okay. So you can see the red color lines and red lines and blue lines are appearing in alternate way. Okay. So this means that in which position, in which envelope the air is being supplied to the direction. I mean your cylinder. Okay. Can you see the color is getting flipped up? Here it is red now. So see now it is in blue color. So it means that when the connection is going to the particular in this particular line, it is represented in the red color. Okay, and also you can see the pressure in which the system is moving. Okay, can you understand? And you can see the switch is getting on and off. Okay, the switch is closing its connection. See, so it becomes red completely. When it is open, it is not in red color. Okay, see, for example, see here. I'll just stop. Just a minute. So now A plus switch is on. Okay, other switches are in off condition. Only A plus switch is in on condition. So what happened? The output is B maximum, right? Okay, the output is B maximum. So the envelope is taking this position. Okay, this envelope is being used. Okay, then see if I'm moving to B plus option. So now B plus switch is being on in on condition. So A plus when the A plus is off, so next step is B plus is in on position. So what happens? I have to take B minimum position in my direction control valve, and you can see the uh, the direction control valve has flipped this envelope. Okay, it has moved from envelope 1 to envelope 2. Can you see here? You can see, right? So here it is taking this envelope. Okay, B plus envelope is being taken. So once B plus, I mean B maximum envelope is being taken. So once B plus which is enabled, what happens? So you can see the cylinder, the piston is in B plus position. This is your B plus, right? So cylinder is in B plus position. So B plus which is on. So what solenoid has to be enabled? Okay, what position has to be enabled? You can see A minimum over here, which is your A minimum. So this particular part is your A minimum. Okay, so see next thing is, so you can see now. So other than A minus, every switch is in open condition. So you can see what is A minus. This is my A minus. So piston has reached this blank end. Okay. So see what position has what with the output that A minus which I have to provide B minimum, right? You can see B minimum over here. So connection is flowing through B minimum. Can you understand? So you can see the flipping of direction control all over here. So let us move on to the last step. So last thing is my B minus. Okay. Other than B minus, all the switches are in open state. And see when I'm switching on B minus, what my output? A maximum should be my output. So you can see A maximum envelope is being used. Okay. Can you understand? Okay. Now you can have a clear look at how it is getting uh, stimulated. So So you see the individual movement. You observe the individual movement, what is happening within the system. Okay. So see the switches. When the switches close, which position is being available? Everything. Let me slow it down by giving the pressure. I'll reduce the pressure so that the system will, the operating system will be slowed down. Okay. Just giving 5 bar pressure. Let's see how it works. So the system speed has been reduced now since the pressure I've given is less than 7 bar. I'll further reduce it. And okay, I'm going to leave that 3 bar. Let us see how what happens. Then also, good. Let us see what happens. Let us wait and see. That this pressure is not sufficient to move the piston from blank into rod. Okay, so let's give 4 bar. Let's give 4 bar pressure. See what. So you can see the piston is moving. So see, B plus is being enabled here. So it is moving towards the right end. So once it is touches the A plus option, see, next it is taking this envelope. B plus is being enabled. So see what switch is on now. B plus is on. So B plus is on. What solenoid is being operated? A minus is being operated. A minus. The next A minus switch is on, and you can see B minimum is being operated. And finally, B minus is on. You can see B minus is on. So A maximum is being used. You can see the flipping. See, so here it is in this condition. Here the connection is being done. Okay, so see, you can see the flipping here. Watch it carefully over this part where I'm placing the cursor. So see, once it reaches this position, the direction control valve flips its position automatically. Okay, and that is why this electrical connection is given to your direction control valve. It is not necessary that only electrical connection should be given. Okay, even with the pneumatic system also, even by using air also, you can move the direction control valve to its either envelope. Okay, so what the thing is, the direction control valve contains a spool in. Okay, just like your motor, your soft iron core will be there, right, in your motor. The same thing here also. A spool will be made up of a soft iron. Since we are using an electrical connection, what happens is here here the metal is a soft iron. Okay, and you are passing electric current to a metal here. Okay, what happens? This metal will get converted into a magnet. Okay, and that magnet will produce an attractive force to the what spool present inside the direction control. Okay, when this thing is getting charged, with this thing is getting charged, what happens? This becomes your magnet, and the spool will get attracted towards this magnet. So the movement is it can move right and left. Okay, so when this particular thing is getting actuated, what happens? The spool will come contact with this particular thing. Okay, after that, since we are switching it, okay, since it is running in switch sequence, what happens? You are going to switch off this electrode, and you are passing the electric current to this particular end. So what happens? The spool moves towards the left. Okay, and can you understand why it is moving right and left? So this is how direction control. I mean, pneumatic system, a basic pneumatic system is being controlled by an electrical system. Okay. I hope that you have understood the session today. So if you have any doubts, you can clear it when you come to me. Okay, you can come to me and clear your doubts, and you can also your experiment is also available in your lab also. Okay, you can practice in that already with that software also, and if possible, you can download this particular thing from your website also. This software is available in your website also. You can directly download from that also. Okay. Okay. Thank you for coming to the class. Thank you for listening.